They say revenge is a dish best served cold. I prefer mine served with a side of federal prosecution and a garnish of financial ruin. My name is Helen Morrison, and 6 months ago I was just another invisible widow at her daughter's wedding. Table 47, behind enough roses to hide a small elephant. The family obviously thought I'd blend in with the decor. What they didn't know was that this harmless old lady had been keeping some rather explosive secrets, and their golden boy son-in-law was about to make the most expensive mistake of his criminal career. Derek Chambers, investment advisor, family man, and, as I would soon discover, professional predator. He had that particular brand of charm that wealthy men use when they want something from you. Mrs. Morrison, I've been meaning to introduce myself properly. I'm Derek, Sarah's new husband. I hope you're enjoying the celebration, he said. Oh, it's lovely, dear. Though I must say the view from here is quite educational. I watched him work the room like a seasoned politician. Different smiles for different tax brackets. The wealthy got his megawatt charm, the useful got polite attention, and the rest got nothing at all. 3 weeks later, Dec invited me to dinner at Le Bernardin, the kind of place where they charge you extra for pronouncing the menu correctly. I knew exactly what was coming. Helen, I've been thinking about your situation, living alone in that big house, managing all those financial decisions by yourself, he said. How thoughtful of you to worry about my little old lady brain, I responded, and there it was, the folder of financial freedom, also known as sign here, and lose everything you own. Power of attorney documents, beautifully crafted legal theft dressed up as family protection. He then said, these are just precautionary measures. In case you ever need assistance with major decisions. Decisions about what, exactly? I asked immediately. Well, your investments, your property, medical choices if you become unable to make them yourself, he responded. Unable to make them myself. He was already planning the mental incompetence. How delightfully presumptuous. That night I did what any suspicious widow would do. I called my late husband's old friend at the FBI. Turns out being married to a federal prosecutor for 40 years leaves you with some very interesting contacts. Agent Patricia Wells had been waiting for someone like Derek to surface. Apparently, he'd been running this scam for years, targeting wealthy widows through family connections. His mistake, he picked a widow whose husband had left her more than money. You see, my dear departed husband hadn't just left me comfortable, he'd left me dangerous. Richard Morrison, federal prosecutor, had anticipated exactly this scenario. In his final months, he'd set up what he called the nuclear option. His letter was simple. Helen, if you're reading this, someone is trying to steal what we built, use everything, destroy them completely. I didn't spend 40 years fighting criminals to let one steal from my wife $12 million. Enough to buy justice, fund investigations, and turn any predator's life into a legal nightmare. Richard had been planning this war long before I knew I'd need to fight it. I called Derek the next morning with the performance of my lifetime. Derek, dear, I've been thinking about those papers you showed me. You're absolutely right, I do need protection. Oh, Helen, I'm so relieved to hear you say that. When would you like to finalize everything? He responded, as soon as possible. This week has made me realize how vulnerable I really am, I said. Hook, line, and sinker. Greed makes people remarkably stupid. Derek arrived right on time, briefcase in hand, notary in tow, and absolutely no idea that every word was being recorded by federal agents. These documents will protect you from anyone who might take advantage of your trusting nature, he said. How thoughtful. Tell me, Derek, what happens to my assets once I sign these? They'll be professionally managed. You won't have to worry about complicated financial decisions anymore, he answered. And if I change my mind later, I asked, he then said, well, that would depend on your mental capacity at the time. These arrangements are designed to be permanent. Permanent. Like a prison sentence. He'd just confessed to attempted financial elder abuse on federal surveillance equipment. I then told him, Derek, there's something you should know about my mental capacity. It's sharp enough to recognize a federal crime when I see one. Derek Chambers, you're under arrest for attempted elder financial abuse, conspiracy to commit fraud, and being spectacularly bad at choosing your victims. You can't prove anything. This is entrapment, he shouted. What I can prove is that you just attempted to steal $12 million from a woman whose husband was a federal prosecutor. Some mistakes are more expensive than others, I replied him. Derek's trial lasted 3 weeks. The evidence was overwhelming, the jury was appalled, and the judge threw the book at him hard enough to leave permanent damage. At the courtroom, the judge said, "Mr. Chambers, you systematically targeted vulnerable elderly women, exploiting family relationships and trust. This court sentences you to 15 years in federal prison." 15 years. Derek would be 50 when he got out, with a federal conviction that would follow him forever. But I wasn't finished. Derek's arrest was just the beginning. The information we gathered led to a nationwide investigation. Turns out Derek was part of a much larger network of predators targeting elderly victims. Agent Wells said to me, "Mrs. Morrison, your case has opened up the largest elder fraud investigation in FBI history. We've identified over 200 potential victims. What do you need from me?" I asked everything. "Your resources, your contacts, your absolute commitment to destroying these parasites," she replied. "Richard had left me $12 million to protect myself. I decided to use it to protect everyone. Over the next 18 months, we dismantled the entire network, 47 arrests across 23 states, over $60 million recovered for victims, and Derek's organization became a cautionary tale that criminal networks still whisper about. I testified before Congress about elder fraud prevention. They passed the Morrison Act, named after Richard, making elder financial abuse a federal crime punishable by life imprisonment. The letters still come. Elderly people who got their life savings back, families who learned to recognize the warning signs, predators who chose different careers after hearing about the Derek Chambers disaster. I visit Richard's grave every Sunday. I tell him about the latest arrests, the new victims we've helped, the predators who've learned to fear elderly widows with good lawyers and unlimited resources. If you're watching this and you're elderly, remember, vulnerability is a choice. You can choose to be helpless, or you can choose to be terrifying to people who want to hurt you. I recommend terrifying. It's much more fun, and the results are permanent. And if you're watching this and you're a predator thinking about targeting elderly people, let me leaves you with this thought. Somewhere out there is another widow with unlimited resources, excellent lawyers, and a very long memory. Derek learned too late that some widows don't just bite back, they bite with federal funding, unlimited resources, and the absolute determination to protect people who can't protect themselves. Some lessons are worth every penny. Derek's cost him everything and gave me exactly what I needed to become dangerous to people like him. The Morrison Foundation has helped recover over $200 million for elder fraud victims. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And remember, never underestimate a widow with unlimited resources and a very good lawyer. Some mistakes last forever.